so strong, girl. I can feel you slipping away.
Yo, what's good, man? Welcome in. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Yes, sirski. We back. How's everybody, man? How's everybody's week going so far? How's everybody's week? I hope y'all saw the fit. We all Batmaned out for today. Batman tee. Obviously, I got the Batman tat. Along with the Batman mug. It's a whole vibe today, baby. It's a whole vibe today. Just like Batman, we about to solve some mysteries. We about to solve some crimes in the NBA. Yes, sirski. Alright, man. We gonna get into it. Yeah. Hey, man, welcome in. How y'all doing, man? Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. How was y'all Monday, Tuesday, and how's everybody's Wednesday going so far? I'll start back on the running shit. I told y'all already, health is it's been a very key thing. It's been a very important thing. Especially in the last couple of years, but just to really try to lock in, for a longer period of time, and have those times when you fall off of your routine, right? Have those times happen less frequently, and also for it make sure that they don't last as long, right? So those are some of the things I'm trying to do better at this year, but we've been good so far. We back in the gym. Ran 3.1 on Monday, 5 yesterday, 3 with Benny this morning. So it's been really good. It's been a really great week. Legs are sore, but I feel great. Legs are sore as hell, but I feel great. But yeah, how's everybody's week? Yesterday. Oh yeah. Before we get into it, parts of the country is freezing over, but in LA they have wildfires going on. So, prayers up to anybody that's being affected by it over there. Hope y'all are doing good. Hope everybody's, able to get out safely. We're just talking about health. That's the priority, right? None of those, none of the things we want to achieve will happen if we're not physically able to, right? So I hope everybody over there is doing all right. I hope everybody's safe or getting to safety or getting help, whatever they need, right? Whatever they need. So prayers up to those people, and to the rest of America that's dealing with the cold right now. How are y'all dealing with it? We got to go get some firewood later, some more firewood. It's freezing over here. It's about to freeze over. Hopefully there's no power outages. Knock on wood. Knock on fucking wood. But yeah, we've been running in the cold this week. 3 days, 2 with Benny. And gotta protect the hands first and foremost. Gotta protect the hands. I wore my little shiesty today when I ran. I was actually really hot in what I was wearing today. But it was good. It's good. One thing I've noticed is when you run through all the elements, literally, when you literally run through all of the elements, right? And whether it's really hot, whether it's really cold, The kid just got a new whip. Yes, Sirski. Congrats, dog. Congrats. Oh yeah, I remember you were a couple weeks ago. You were saying that you were walking around everywhere, right? Cause your car broken down. Man, thank God you got that sorted back. I will not have to run in the cold. You are a wild man. Hey, listen. When you run in all of the elements, literally, when it's really hot, really cold, when it rains, when it snows. I mean, snow is a little bit different because you really got to have the right pair of shoes for that, right? But when you're running all of those elements, everything else just isn't that bad. I'll be honest with you. Everything else is not that bad. I ran in Colorado last year. It was like 20 degrees outside. And I'm over here thinking I'm doing something. And a guy comes up behind me in shorts, a long sleeve t-shirt, a hat, and gloves. So you telling me there are, some of these folks are different. Some of these folks are different for real. But yeah, man. Health is wealth this year. Hope everybody's doing good in California, and everyone else try to stay fucking warm out there. Try to stay warm. But we are going to be playing the blame game today with the NBA. So let's intro the show really quick. So thank you guys for joining me as always, and welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any other topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. So as I was just saying, we are going to play the blame game. I feel like there's been a lot of star players that have been struggling, or their teams have been struggling this year. And what better to do than to try to figure out who it is to blame in this situation? Like, why the fuck not? There's, from the Lakers obviously having their struggles to Steph Curry and the Warriors, Kevin Durant and the Suns. There's a lot of big names, right? That's the big three, right? That's the NBA's big three, right? They were the ones that were getting featured in the Olympics, and all three are struggling right now. So we'll talk a little bit about what could really be going on in some of these situations. And we'll also be talking about some Denver Nuggets. And I have a take about the Miami Heat that I think has gone a little bit unnoticed as of late, and I wanted to have this conversation with y'all. But before we get into that, let me pull this up. Where is this? Let's see. Hold on.
Fire's fire, right?
All right. Bro. I mean, like, this is literally taking on a life of its own.
Debbie's the fucking chat.
I made this shit like last week.
Okay.
You know. They got me playing uncuts. Hey.
Run that shit.
Bitch, hold on tight, cause I tweaking this bitch, I letting shit go. And I heard that.
Yo, isn't it the best shit right now? Like at first, it felt like people were trolling. At first, it felt like people were trolling. But it's actually picking up steam. I seen a comment the other day. It said LeVar went 3 for 3, and he really did go 3 for 3, bro. He really did. And I think Jello's has a spot in Rolling Loud. I mean, good shit. And honestly, the song is catchy as fuck. I've been saying it all around the house since all day since yesterday. It's a problem. It's kind of a problem. My dog keep looking at me like, what's wrong with you? He's like, please stop. It'd be like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. at night still singing it. It was a problem. It was a problem yesterday for sure. But he might have something. He might have something. Now, I'll be honest. It's going to be important for him to drop some music before Rolling Loud. And I'm sure he has something, right? But yeah, it's going to be important for him to drop some music before then. Really, the interesting part in this for me is, and this is why the media and the public and, you know, the people are just funny, right? Before any of the sons, before any of the Ball brothers, or either of the Ball brothers got to the NBA, or I guess before Lonzo got into the NBA, or even through that first year, right? The Ball family they were like public enemy number one. They were like, LeVar was low-key like no allows. Like no bullshit. Like LeVar was low-key no allows. And obviously Lonzo has his first season and then has his career and then the injuries and whatnot. And then LaMelo is in the league. But the 180 that the public has made in terms of its views on this family, to me it's unbelievable. Like it's unbelievable. You know, Lonzo very quietly has become a pretty popular player in the league and someone that people, you know, outwardly root for, especially with all the injuries that he's gone through, right? LaMelo is easily one of the most popular players in the league, playing in Charlotte, mind you. And then Jello has been kind of the outcast, but maybe he's found a little spot. Like maybe he's found a home, right? He can still hoop, right? He can still shoot the shit out the ball, I'm sure. Even though he you know, I do wonder with the real, you know, big bulky dudes, like, can they really still shoot after? But he always had, I've always said he might have the best jump shot out the whole three, like no bullshit. But the full 180 that, you know, that everyone has made on this family, I think should be studied one day. It should be studied, and we need to talk to LeVar about it. For real. Maybe I gotta go find him one day. I'll go sit down and talk to him about it, because what a masterful job. And even when they were coming up, I used to say, like, isn't this how you're supposed to feel about your kid? Like, I get, you know, being a realist and, you know, the reality, but we could do that, you know, if I'm your dad or, you know, with someone's dad, like, you could do that behind closed doors in front of everyone. You're Michael Jordan. We could talk about your deficiencies or whatever and have that conversation later, but my support for you will be that. And that's how I always felt about the situation. But yeah, man, all the locker rooms in the league got that shit on. It's like it's funny, but I think it really says a lot about how people feel about this family right now, right? How they feel about him right now. Now, we've been talking a lot about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander lately, and there's going to be a massive matchup later tonight. Both number one teams are going at it, right? The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that's definitely a must-watch game. Must-watch, right? Now, I said the other day, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to me looks like the best basketball player in the planet. And, you know, the other part in that was he's probably the closest thing to Kobe Bryant that we've actually seen. We've had certain players, like Devin Booker or even a Jason Tatum. DeMar spoke so highly about Kobe, right? We've had already, right? And Kobe was just here, rest in peace to Mamba. But Shea, I think, to me, just embodies his everything about him, his character. Play style will always vary a little bit, but just the way he carries himself, right? And, the last 2 years, we've had someone in Anthony Edwards who was being compared to Michael Jordan. And even, I was on that bandwagon as well too, right? So, isn't it crazy, right? Isn't it crazy that we potentially could have a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant type of rivalry in our lifetime? But just the other day, Anthony Edwards said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be the MVP this year. Should have won the MVP last year. People will call it glazing. He's just, and then Shai obviously responded to that. And so with that also went my hopes and dreams of this becoming the type of rivalry. This isn't gonna be Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. And that's not to say that Anthony Edwards isn't a competitive person, because he's a very competitive person, right? And maybe this is just me, I call it old school way of thinking. But there are certain things that I feel like you just shouldn't say. And Anthony Edwards would probably say he could say whatever the fuck he wants. He was just being honest. I've already said he is not media trained at all. He don't know how to lie. He don't know. He just don't know. But you can give your peers and your competitors credit all day long. All day long. You could call him a great player, a great all the bullshit that they like to say, right? But to go out there when you should be competing for MVPs, to go out there and say, oh, this guy's probably going to win it this year, should have won it last year, like, he's unbelievable at basketball. To me, it kind of, like, what are you doing? And Anthony Edwards will probably say, oh, but I'm 23 or 22 or 23. Like, I got time. Shai Gilgeous 26. But you could be competing for that. See, like, the funny thing to me about Anthony Edwards is ever since he got compared to Michael Jordan, it's as if he's been doing everything to not be Michael Jordan. Now he's a three-point shooter. One of the most explosive athletes that we've seen. At 23 is turning himself into a three-point shooter. The competitor that, I want all the smoke. I want everybody. Everybody trash. He said, Bron, everybody trash. That's what he was saying on the Netflix doc. But that was filmed last year. And now Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. Why aren't you the MVP? Why not? You're supposed to be one of the best two-way players we have in the league. scoring like 28 a game. Why aren't you the MVP? Why aren't you leading this team? Don't give me the age. Don't give me the age. 5 years in the league. And I said it before. The narrative on Anthony Edwards, since he started getting close to that superstar threshold, the narrative switched really quickly. They're doing badly, and the shift, the focus has gone to him, like it does for every other potential superstar that we've ever seen. And it's about to start for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander too. For the first time the other day, I was scrolling through the comments, and I saw someone call him corny. I've never seen that before. Ant is my example of why we need context. He's an amazing player. He leads the league. He leads the league in 3-point made, but I would not say he is the best shooter or shooters before him. Agreed, right? And for me, like I said before, I don't necessarily think it's the amount of threes, right? Just don't let it take away from your driving ability. Because, and this is why I had the comparison between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being more Kobe and Anthony Edwards being more Michael Jordan. Shai is unbelievable. He doesn't have half the athleticism that Anthony Edwards has. When Anthony Edwards explodes, sometimes it looks like he's moving in slow motion when he blows by people. And I get that Shai is very quick. I'm not trying to say that Shai has no athleticism. But he uses everything extremely well because he's not the most athletic guy. He's not the fastest. He doesn't jump the highest, right? That's why he's more of a Kobe. But we have Anthony Edwards that has all of the athleticism, and unlike Michael Jordan, he's letting teams off the hook by shooting a bunch of threes. If he were shooting spot-up threes, coming off of pin downs, fine. But it's a lot of, he does his punch dribble left into the step back a lot, right? It's a lot of fadeaway threes. Same problem that Jason Tatum is having. To me, it's not necessarily even the amount. It's the type of shots that you're getting. Some of them are horrible. And until Anthony Edwards realizes that he is pretty much faster and stronger than any guard in the league, to apply pressure on a team every possession down. See, the thing that with Steph Curry that gets missed, right? This is and Klay Thompson, and I'll give him that credit too. I think they gave people the assumption that, they're just out there shooting a bunch of 3-point shots, just dribble up, just shooting shit. Right? Some of the highlights that Steph has gives that illusion. The reason why they were the first 3-point shooting team to win an NBA championship, right, was because of their movement off of the ball. See, if Steph just came up, ISO'd, he does his little bounce into his little step back, he would not even be close to who he is. And he wouldn't apply nearly as much pressure on the other team. The reason him and Klay Thompson applied so much pressure on the entire league was because of how they moved without the ball. It forced defenses to consistently move. It created mismatches. It created awkward defensive situations, guys that aren't in the proper spots. So you all of a sudden don't have to play from 0-0 with a guy. You get the ball and you're already 2 steps ahead because of the type of offense and their movement off of the ball. It wasn't just the fact that they were shooting a bunch of threes. And I think that's what's gotten lost in the NBA. That's where you get a bunch of idiots behind a computer, which is funny because I'm just an idiot behind a computer, who don't really watch basketball and just have a bunch of statistics that say, look at what the Golden State Warriors are doing. Let's just copy it. Let's just shoot a bunch of threes. Not realizing the type of threes that they're getting. The type of movement off of the ball. The fact that they were also a really good mid-range team. The fact that they got to the basket a lot still. So, Anthony Edwards talks about shooting threes, trying to be Steph Curry. Cool. You could shoot the 3 ball. You're still not doing what he does. And one, if Steph Curry could trade with Anthony Edwards, if he could trade and get his physical abilities, guess what? He would do it in a heartbeat. He would do it in a heartbeat. Because he has an advantage. And so, I would love to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards have a rivalry in this league. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But right now, it's not off to a hot start. It's also a bit of necessity. Little guards have to find advantages. Steph is athletic like Kyrie and has to figure it out, which led to 3. Dame figured if he could stretch the floor, he is hard to guard. Golden State ran the system as the Spurs. Neither teams were chucking threes like the Celtics last night. And it's really perfect that you brought that up, Icy Mamba. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. Garba, someone like JT and Ant need to apply the pressure they need to. There is a balance. 100%. You guys both hit it right on the head, right? The Boston Celtics last night, they beat a Utah Jazz team that, not a Utah Jazz, sorry, a Denver Nuggets team that obviously, have found struggles this year, but also they didn't even have Jokic, right? And they won by 12 points. And to your point, Icy Mamba, I don't think there's necessarily a problem with the amount of 3-point shots that the Boston Celtics take. Do I think that they could probably take 10 less of them? Yeah. I think they could probably benefit from taking about 10 less 3-point shots a game. Because, like what we were just talking about, it's the type of shots that they're taking. Tatum, when he dribbles between the legs left, he might give you another punch dribble to sidestep, or he'll just sidestep right there. You know what's coming. It makes it easy to guard, actually. It makes it extremely easy to guard because now you're just counting dribbles. You know what he might do when he does certain things because you can watch film of this. These guys take the same shots game in and game out. It's the type of shots they're taking. 100%, I agree. And let me get rid of this. Someone like Jayson Tatum, who's 6'10", and bodies people up the way that he does. He lets people off the hook by taking some of the threes that he takes. Drew Holiday takes a deep pull-up three late in the game for no reason. Oh, I got another gripe. I have another gripe with them and one of the things that they do too. You know, like Tatum right now should be averaging he could probably average 12 free throw attempts a game. He could probably do it pretty easily. And if he were to take more mid-range shots, it would sharpen that part of his game up, so when the playoffs come around, he's already pretty good at it. He could just be even better. He just doesn't use it as much, and it's probably because of their offense. Thinking Basketball made a great video about this 4 days ago. It was called something like NBA has invented shots to counter defense. What is this? The Celtics' main issue is they toy with teams. No Jokic, that should have been an easy win as the champs. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And here's the other part too, right? What do long three-pointers create? Long three-pointers create long rebounds for the other team to now get on the fast break. And so, what do we always say? When a team is able to get out on a fast break, it eliminates a lot of what a great defensive team can do, because they're in scramble mode, right? Now, there's mismatches. You're not guarding who you're supposed to be guarding. You're not set up. All the timings are off. They're already starting their offense, or they're getting to the basket. It's why these teams have such big runs against them. This wasn't happening as much last year, because with less threes, there are less long rebounds. So now more often in the game, your team is actually set on defense. I don't think it's as much as their defense all of a sudden sucks. They're putting themselves at a disadvantage right now. And it's coming from their threes. So they're taking bad three-point shots where they're not moving. Right? They have a great pin down action that they run off of the Derek White or off of the Drew Holiday, Jayson Tatum pick and roll. Tatum sets the pick, he'll get the pick, then there's another cross pick with KP, Hauser comes off the top. Like, they have set plays that they can run to get great shots for shooters. They just end up settling, or they'll kick it out and take a three, or kick it out and take another three. It's just a lot of settling. And so now teams get to go on a fast break. And what happens when a team is on a run and all you keep doing is taking threes? They get to keep pushing it. They're running their offense. You're just hoping a three will fall. And so now a team like the Denver Nuggets, who's, let's call it what it is, they're not that good, right? I think a part of their issue is no one on the team has improved significantly in the last couple years outside of Jokic. But someone like Russell Westbrook all of a sudden gets to play fast break. He gets to play a foot race. That's easy. That's easy for him. And now the Boston Celtics defense that was really good isn't set for, let's call it 15 more possessions a game. This has been the main issue with the Tatum era Celtics. They settle for too many threes. But I will say too, though, right? A lot of this is also driven by the team, right? This is a philosophy that Joe Mazzulla has, and The thing is, it worked for them last year, so now they're saying, let's ramp it up and shoot a bunch more threes when they have players that can play in all three levels of the game. Like, you don't really, you have guys that can shoot floaters for them, that can shoot pull-ups, fadeaways, mid-range. We don't get to see the full range of the game because they're just shooting a bunch of threes and driving. Excuse me. So, this is something that the Celtics are going to have to try to figure out going into the playoffs, because I still think that they have the most complete team in the league. They have size, they have versatility, they have 2-star players that are really good and can take over games. I mean, they probably have the most complete team in the league, but their style is hurting them right now. Like you said earlier, Icy Mamba, that game shouldn't have been close. Arguably, Russ is the fastest player on the floor. He's really good at creating open lanes to the basket. And for the Denver Nuggets, right, I was just talking about how no one has really improved significantly for them, right? The new guy shouldn't come in and be the best player on the floor. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. How is that possible? The rest of you guys have been in the system running these plays for years. And Russell Westbrook repeatedly has looked better than Jamal Murray this year. Repeatedly. Like, how does that happen? I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused. Like, this guy was dropping 50s in the bubble, and I know he tore his ACL. Maybe he's never gotten quite right. I know a little bit about that. But god damn. like god damn. Westbrook is better than Murray. However, he has been their second best player on this team. They run sets for him. It's kind of shocking. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much so that Murray was better than Westbrook. This has been his team. He's been on this team for however many years. He knows this offense really well. To not be able to put up numbers in the absence of Jokic is a little odd to me. It's a little odd to me. And also, I laugh because there were 2 possessions in a row last night where Westbrook just straight shoved Tatum and then he shoved Kristaps. I love Russ, man. I love Russ. Russ is the best. Talking shit the whole time. He didn't push nobody. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love how, his personality is just awesome. His personality is awesome. He's playing a similar role to what he played with KD from 2012 to 2016. Icy Mamba, do you have my notebook, bro? How we about to talk about Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook? I was trying to lead into it. Yo, you stole my shit. How is that? How you doing that? I'm genuinely confused. How'd you do that? Because we are now going to talk about Russell Westbrook's former running mate, Kevin Durant, because the Phoenix Suns suck. The Phoenix Suns suck, bro. They started really well, right? They were 7-1 in the first 8 games or something like that. Kevin Durant obviously had his injury. He went out. And they have sucked ever since. They have been absolute garbage ever since. Now that KD is back, it still seems to not be working. They lose to the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, like, you lost to the Charlotte Hornets. Like, these guys are like 7 and what are they? They're like 7 and something, bro. Like you can't lose to the Charlotte Hornets and you have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal now coming off the bench can give you 20 something. Like, how is this possible? Like, how is this possible that y'all are losing to the Charlotte Hornets? I want to get exactly where these Hornets are. Dog, they are 8-27. How are you losing to these guys? And it now brings up the question, right? Because everybody's going to start talking about it again. Is Kevin Durant the problem? And my answer between the Brooklyn Nets and obviously now the Phoenix Suns is kind of. Right? Is Kevin Durant the problem? Kind of. And obviously, Kevin Durant is one of the greatest basketball players that we have ever seen. Ever seen. I don't want to understate that because I think it's important. He is one of the greatest basketball players we've ever seen. He'd fry any one of our dad's favorite players. I promise you. He would fry all of them. But when it comes to winning championships consistently, we have to take a deeper look into who Kevin Durant is. And by the way, too, if he please. All right, we're back. Thank God. But, you know, if that run would have gone a little bit differently, we could be having a slightly different conversation. But still, with Kevin Durant, I personally think it's a personality thing. You know, Kevin Durant historically has been pretty laid back, calm demeanor. Not to say that he's not a competitor, right? He speaks about competing against Bron and all of them. He obviously is a competitor. But he's more of a laid back kind of person. He has this great saying, right? He was teaching a bunch of kids about like letting the game come to him. And when things aren't falling, you know, the numbers are going to even out. He has that type of mentality, right? And I think this is also a part of the issue. He thinks about the game properly. As a coach, that's great. You have your star player, your best player who approaches the game right. He doesn't want to shoot too much. He always tries to make the right play. Being that person and being such a calm person, I think prevents him from applying pressure on a team possession to possession to possession. And I don't mean shoot every time, but you'll very rarely see Kevin Durant demand the ball 3, 4, 5 possessions in a row. A part of being such a great scorer, a part of being a guy that goes 30 to 35 plus points per game is taking some bad ones. It's forcing some shots. It's a part of it, right? And he is a player that has historically never been that guy. He'll always get to his 25, 28 to 30. But he has to be on for him to take 25 to 30 shots. And when it comes to being the main guy and having to apply pressure on a team, I just don't think he does that consistently. He's a little bit more passive for how good he is. If I were his coach, I would tell him to get 40 every game. Just go get 40. I genuinely, I don't care how you get it. Just go get 40 because you're that good. But his personality just don't allow him to do it. I think it's a very similar thing with Kyrie. Kyrie has the greatest offensive bag, whatever you want to call it. His skill is out of this world. But being such a zen, kumbaya, chill kind of person and wanting to play basketball the right way, I think has kept him from being a 30, 35 point per game scorer because he is that good too. Kenyon Martin says all the time that he thinks Kyrie Irving is a better basketball player than Luka, and I think a lot of people would disagree with him, but I don't think he's far off. Like, Kyrie Irving is that good at basketball, but if you look over the years, he's at 22, 24, 25. I think the most he's had was 28 points per game. He's just not going to go down and try to force pressure on the other team, possession to possession. And I think that's the problem with Kevin Durant. And the reason it worked with the Golden State Warriors is he had two guys that can do that. He had a Steph Curry and a Klay Thompson whose off the ball movement applied pressure on the other team every single game, regardless of how they were shooting. Like, people can say whatever they want about Kobe. He was going to shoot that fucking ball. And whether you liked it or not, it forced the other team to have to defend him. At every part of the floor. Because whether he's 1 for 6 or 1 for 16, he's going to take the fucking shot. And that forces defenses to have to guard, to be at high alert at all times. Like, Kevin Durant has been ultra efficient, and it's almost kind of worked against him because for me, I shoot more, shoot 10 more shots a game, do it again, just keep doing it, because now the defense is gonna have to come out extra to defend you. Now they're gonna have to literally triple team you. But I had it. I think, maybe him, Jamal Murray, the media, right, has gotten guys to fall victim to being called the ball hog, right? There's this stigma of you have to get your teammates involved, or you got to pass the ball to these guys, right? And sometimes you do have to do that, right? Like, if you're a great scorer, that's what you do. You score. And a part of you making your teammates better is being aggressive. If you're aggressive looking to score, passing lanes will open up. James Harden wasn't averaging all the assists he was getting in the Houston Rockets, not because he was the greatest passer in the world. It's because every time he crossed half court, the entire other team knew he was going to try to score. So now guys are overcommitting. They got to overextend out and help. Everyone is open. You know, I like like I got to give, we go back again to, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We got to give him some credit. His ability to always apply pressure on the other team. He's always trying to get a foot in the paint. When he's in the mid-range, he's liable to shoot it every time. He's going to get up 20-plus shots a game. You know it for sure. And down the stretch, he's going to get the ball. He's going to ISO you, or they're going to run a pick and roll, and you're going to have to figure out how to stop him first. Constantly applying pressure on the other team, right? Now, wow, we are running through this shit right now. This is fire. This is great. This is great. I hope y'all liking this shit. Now, we're gonna talk a little bit about Steph Curry again, and it kind of goes along the lines of what we have been talking about today. Let's take a look at what Steve Kerr had to say about Steph Curry.
In particular, you mentioned the word deflated. He seemed deflated. I mean, obviously he's not unconfident offensively, but it does kind of seem to feel like this slump, the team slump is weighing on him. I mean, are you seeing that?
Yeah. I can see it. I can see it with Steph, and he's continued to be brilliant night after night. But at his core, he's a winner. He's a champion. He wants to compete at the highest level. We just saw it a few months ago in Paris. The best of the best, and he takes over the fourth quarter when everything's on the line. That's who he is. That's what he lives for. And so he is really struggling with the emotion of not being competitive right now. He probably hasn't had to deal with this since his his first couple of years in the league. So he's definitely struggling with it.
Steve.
So, there was also an article the other day talking about, Steph has performance anxiety, and he thinks it's healthy, right, to have to go out there and perform, right? And I think this is just an important kind of conversation to have after everything we just spoke about too, because unfortunately it's a real thing, right? There are, like, the type of person that you have to be to really not give a fuck, right? And, to go back to Kobe, right? To really have that personality, to genuinely think like that day in and day out, moment to moment, decision to decision, to just not care. It's really something that we could all learn from, right? There was I forget who was telling this story about, I think Kobe, I think he said missed like 18 or 19 straight shots. Took the 20th one. And I'm sure everyone knew he was going to take the 20th one. And I think after he said, yeah, I'm good. Like, yes, there was a lot of people that spoke about, oh, you go 4 for 25, that's a horrible game. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. But I would rather have that person instead of the person who, hits a couple shots, goes 4 for 6, and then it's 4 for 8, and then it's 4 for 10, and then all of a sudden they stop taking shots. All of a sudden, all the aggression that they had goes away. That same person that gets them 35 on another night, that goes away because they start missing some shots. I'd rather have the other guy where we know, regardless of what's going on, exactly what we're going to get. Because it's that type of mentality, that type of play style and we keep going back to it again. That's what really applies pressure on the other team. And when it comes to being dominant for long stretches, that's really a key part in it. Right? You know, game in and game out, that's what this person is going to do, and they're relentless in it. They're relentless in it. And so, you know, it's just something to keep in mind. Just something to keep in mind. Now, to look at their counterpart, because they're playing the Miami Heat last night, I believe, right? It was the Miami Heat. Let's see. And first of all, you can't lose to a team that's going through the struggle that they're going through, which is the Jimmy Butler drama. But you also can't lose to a team that just played a double overtime game the night before. I mean, like, what are we doing? That is the last thing you want to do. You cannot lose to that team. And sure enough, they lost the game. And, you know, it was a real team effort for the Miami Heat. You know, a solid 2 wins, right? Especially with Jimmy Butler out of the team and all the shit that they're going through. But really, to me, the biggest surprise when it comes to the Miami Heat, excuse me, sorry about that, but for me, the biggest surprise when it comes to the Miami Heat is Bam Adebayo. The Jimmy Butler situation we knew was deteriorating since at least the summer. Tyler Hero is Tyler Hero. You can see when he talks to the media, the confidence that he has. You know what you're going to get from him. But Bam Adebayo, after coming off of an Olympic run and to now, he is averaging he's averaging the least amount of points that he's averaged since 2019-2020. 16.2. It's the least since 2019-2020. That was his third year in the league. And they always say, you know, guys come off of these Olympic experiences and have unbelievable seasons, right? Their seasons are godlike because, one, they're coming in shape. Two, they've been playing against the other best players in the world, not just on the other national teams, but especially in the scrimmages. So guys come in sharp and they come in confident. I get that there's something going on with the Miami Heat. But let's call it what it is, right? If you don't have Jimmy Butler, or at least a Jimmy Butler with a reduced role, that means more opportunities for Bam Adebayo. More shots, more attempts. He's just not taking advantage of this opportunity right now. And I don't know what it is, because he looks out of it. He's usually the man possessed. He's out there grabbing everything. It's just not that right now. So he needs to figure out what it is, because he could have been trying to gun for that Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He could have been trying to gun to get the most rebounds a game this year and also score 25, 28 a game. Like, that's the season and the mentality he should have had coming in. And instead, he's having I don't want to say it's career lows. Not even averaging 10 rebounds a game. I mean, it's just not good. It's just not good. So he's probably been the biggest disappointment to me when it comes to the Miami Heat, right? You know, their situation is obviously their situation, but like, wow. Like, wow. Now, before we get out of here, we'll quickly talk about how the hell did the Los Angeles Lakers lose to a Dallas Mavericks that don't have Luka and they don't have Kyrie Irving either, right? Who apparently has like a bulging disc or something, or something with a disc in his back, which is really scary. There's also, if you haven't seen it, Luka was on a scooter. Let me see if I can actually pull that up. This guy's on a freaking scooter, bro. I mean, like, the fuck.
My neighbor Brian was like, yo, where'd you get this?
Let's see. This guy's on a freaking scooter, y'all. Oh, here it is. Let's take a look.
Christmas, and he was still struggling to put weight on.
No. This guy's on a freaking scooter right now, brother. Guy's on an actual scooter, so you know, hopefully he gets healthy, he gets right. You know, obviously one of the best players in the league. You know, you hate to see that, but the Lakers lose to them. How this team just isn't very good. And you know, it's really still surprising to me that JJ Redick took this job, because this was quite literally the worst job you could have gotten in the NBA. The absolute worst. Not only were the Lakers not good last year, they're not good this year either. And JJ Redick put himself in a situation where if they win games or if they win anything, all the credit goes to LeBron and Anthony Davis. If they lose, the blame goes to JJ Redick, because LeBron is getting older. That's when that usually comes out, right? LeBron is getting older. AD's hurt. All of these other things come out. So it was quite literally the worst, and I mean the worst, job you could have gotten in the NBA. And you know, when you look at this roster, they had 6 players in double figures and still didn't cross 100. 6 players in double figures and still didn't cross 100. Like, that's a problem. No Gafford. Anthony Davis is getting you 21 points. There's a lot of issues that the Lakers have. Main one being their roster. Adding a rookie head coach that's never coached at any level other than his kids' team doesn't help anyone at all. And all the talks of, LeBron's probably going to keep playing. If they keep losing, I don't think he's going to keep playing. So I don't know what's going to happen in his future, but the Lakers suck. Like, the Lakers, plain and simple, suck. And for Klay Thompson, you got to be looking around like Will Smith at the end of Fresh Prince. Like, where the you get to a team, you think everything's about to be great. Luka goes down. Kyrie goes down. Luka was already missing games earlier this year. I mean, just what a way to come into a situation where they're supposed to be a contending team. But they have found ways to win games without Luka. So that's a positive, right? Like we've said before, they're obviously not a better team without him, but it's about meshing the two kind of teams together, right? The Luka run team versus the team where everyone gets a hand in and gets involved and really feels a part of the wins, right? But we'll see what happens with them. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Actually, I don't think. Wait. I know. I know I could be a LeBron hater, but this shit was hilarious, yo.
Places with a celebrity for a day, who would it be and what are you doing?
I probably had to be Savannah James. Like, I'm gonna be able to call LeBron daddy, like, and nobody gonna think it's weird. Like, he's they goat, like, they pops. I lost my dad when I was younger, so like, I used to always look at him on the court. Like, damn, man, what if he was my dad?
So LeBron got 3 kids. You could have switched spots. Well, I don't know.
I could
Bronny
be a
James.
sport.
You could do like Bryce.
You could do Bryce, Bronny.
Nah, I don't like the way they call him daddy. I won't call him daddy how Savannah call him daddy.
Hey yo.
How do you know how Savannah calls him daddy though?
I could just imagine. Like, imagine what you
All right, dog.
You good. You good, brother. You good. You have a good day, man.
There is no way. Yo, that is the average LeBron fan. I promise you. That shit was hilarious. Yo, what is wrong with you people out there, man? And on that note, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. But thank you guys as always for joining me on today's episode, man. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are the best. Y'all showing mad love. I really appreciate Elijah as always for coming and hanging out. Icy Mamba for contributing to the conversation. Has some great points in there that I agreed with as well too. So thank you guys as always. You guys are the best. I will see y'all on Friday. Stay safe out there, man. In the fire, in the cold. I'm not trying to be funny. That's dead ass. But, stay safe out there. I appreciate y'all as always. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me. And I appreciate y'all for that, man. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Y'all have a good one, man. Y'all have a good one.